Welcome to the first Terrific Thursday episode of FSU Weather of the new semester. I'm meteorologist Jonathan Bellis.
I'm student meteorologist Tawana Andrew. It is Thursday, September 5th, and it's going to be an absolutely wonderful show, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And it's been hot here. It's been up to 95 degrees, one of the warmest days we've had so far.
Absolutely scorching.
And where it's actually a little bit hotter out there is in the tropics as well.
Yes, we have Gabrielle out in the tropics, Gabrielle, and it was a tropical storm earlier this morning, but it was downgraded to a tropical depression at 12 p.m. today.
Yeah, it's bringing the island of Puerto Rico and also the U.S. Virgin Islands a lot of rainfall.
Yes, it is, but it's projected to stay in the Atlantic and not affect any of the U.S. mainland. It does have winds of 30 miles an hour, so they are getting some wind, so there could be wind damage in that area.
Yeah, and if you're living on the island of Hispaniola or even Puerto Rico, you might want to watch out for some mudslides as well.
And it's forecast to dissipate in the next 24 hours, so it's not going to be a long-lasting threat to anywhere.
Yeah, and if you're taking a cruise to the Gulf of Mexico, you may want to watch out there as well. There's some activity there, I hear.
Yes, they're looking at another storm system
Yep.
possibly brewing in that area, right?
Yeah, we're heading very close to the peak of the season, which is now in 5 days. So it's that time of year.
Yes, but let's send it out to the wall with Alex with our overview of the show.
Thanks, guys. Now let's take a look at our weather headlines for today. Gabrielle was the recently formed tropical storm out of Depression 7 yesterday with a muggy overnight, possibility of some rainfall throughout the week, and for the weekend, drier conditions. But let's take a look at current conditions right now. Extremely warm temperatures across the Big Bend, 95 degrees in Tallahassee, 90 at Panama City, 89 at Pensacola. Overall, 90s throughout much of the state of Florida today, and the humidity wasn't helping that out at all. Valdosta reached a scorching 107 on the heat index, 100 degrees at Tallahassee. It was very hot. Very muggy conditions, very uncomfortable, and still 102 degrees over there in Tampa. So heat index showing not comfortable conditions at all. In the way of radar and showers, we don't really have much in the way of any storms. A few storms off south of Savannah, Georgia, but mainly clear across our neck of the woods. A few sprinkles here and there, but nothing in the way of any strong storms like we have seen yesterday and days previously. But we're going to give it around a 30 to 40% chance of rain throughout the night and for the coming weekend. But now let's take it back onto the desk.
It's absolutely hot out there, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And unfortunately, for us, the weather's not going to change, but where it is changing is up in the Northeast.
Yes, they have their first possible freeze tomorrow.
Yeah, temperatures in upstate New York and all across New England are into the 30s coming up.
That is absolutely chilly because of a cold front that's coming in from Canada and a high pressure that is centered over Pennsylvania right now.
And I wish we had that down here.
I don't. I'm not a cold person.
Yeah. Well, that front isn't unfortunately going to make its way down here, but what it will do is bring us a few more rain chances.
Yeah, and for them, however, they're possibly going to have highs in the 70s. I kind of wish we had that instead of in the 90s right
Yeah, the only way we get that around here is with the thunderstorms that pass through just about every day.
Pretty much every day.
You looking forward to fall?
Definitely am. Colder temperatures, nicer weather, less humidity.
Yeah, what is nice about this time of year is temperatures start going up and down this time of year and as we head into October, which is typically the best month here in Tallahassee.
I definitely agree, but we'll sign out to the wall with Alex with our local.
Thanks, guys. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at our local this afternoon. And by the numbers today, we saw a high of 92. It's actually September 5th, not September 3rd, but it was hot September 3rd too. We start off a low at 72 this morning, so kind of a warm start for our morning, but really still on average for this time of year. And we'll go ahead and take a look at those current conditions down at the Tallahassee Regional Airport, sitting at 92 right now. Partly cloudy skies. Hasn't seen any rain yet today, which is giving us those high temperatures right now at the 6 o'clock hour. And if we take a look at the temperatures surrounding the Big Bend region, 90 is pretty much gripping the entire Big Bend. And if we take a look at the temperatures city by city, 92 in Tallahassee, 84 in Quincy, a little bit cooler over there, 91 in Monticello, cooler down near the coastline, Carabel 88, Apalachicola 87. So they're feeling that sea breeze, kind of cooling them down just a little bit over there. And look at those dew points, all greens across the board, kind of upping that intensity of the feeling outside, giving you that really hot, sticky feeling when you go out there, kind of pushing those temperature indices up over 100 in some areas. And if we look to see those temperature indices, 101 here in Tallahassee right now, 106 in Bainbridge, 100 in Marietta. So if you're out there, please go and make sure you're hydrated, go inside if it's too hot. Just try and take precaution for this extreme heat. And taking a look at the radar, not much going on for us around the area. There's a little bit to our east, but pretty quiet throughout the night. You might see a pop-up shower throughout the evening as we go throughout the night. but pretty clear for most of us around the Big Bend. Now, the reason is we've been so wet for the past few days is that we have the stationary front sitting just draped over the southeast, and it's going to be sitting there until a high comes in and kind of like wipes it out a little bit. But this humidity is going to just kind of funnel in from this high in the Gulf, kind of just raising up over us, causing those thunderstorms to prevail throughout the next few days and possibly into our weekend. But the chances aren't as high during the weekend. So if you do have weekend plans, it's not looking like it's going to be rained out as much. And if we go ahead and take a look at tonight's forecast, we're seeing a low of 72, just like we did last night, pretty much a replica of last night. Partly cloudy skies, 20% chance of rain. So if you do go out tonight, make sure you bring the umbrella. You might run into a spotty shower here or there, but it's going to be another mild, muggy night. Maybe a nice night to go out for a walk. Take the pup out, walk around the block, make sure he gets, does what he needs to do before he goes to bed tonight. Tomorrow's forecast is going to be another hot one. 40% chance of rain. Most likely the storms will be in the afternoon hours, mostly around between 4 and 7 o'clock. So if you do have plans in the afternoon, make sure you bring the umbrella out. But the AM looks like it's going to be beautiful, maybe a nice night to go for a walk, or nice morning to go for a walk, and maybe stroll around campus if you're down at FSU. The beach forecast is going to be a nice one. Nice day to go out there. Sun will be out in the morning. Might see those showers in the afternoon. And the 7-day forecast, though, is going to look like the weekend's kind of looking a little better for us. The rain chances will be going down, and into next week, it looks like we're going to see more sun and lower rain chances, but the temperatures will still be in the 90s. Now we're going to send it to Tyler Allender as he takes us around the southeast.
All right, thanks so much, Alex. And yes, it's been pretty hot. Let's take a look at this picture in Pascagoula, Mississippi, and you can see how there's some pretty ominous looking clouds out there, some dark clouds, but they didn't get a whole lot of rain today, and they got a whole lot of heat across the region. Now, if we can take a look at the high temperatures today around the southeast, it was hot. 95 degrees here in Tallahassee. You felt it if you're walking around campus today. Bloody hot. And hopefully you didn't have blood in your sweat, because that would be a problem. But in all seriousness, drink plenty of water in this kind of heat, because it was certainly a scorcher. That was then, and this is now. Temperatures are not much better. Low 90s still at this hour. 85 in Atlanta, 87 in New Orleans, and we have upper 80s for South Florida and Central Florida, where they're getting a ton of rain. And when you factor in the humidity, it feels that much worse. 101 here in the capital city still at this hour. And around the southeast, you can see kind of a gradient of the showers and storms, the clearer, drier air to the north, and we had those showers and storms kind of pinned to the coast. And it's all thanks to a stationary front. Not going to move much over the next couple of days, so that's going to lock in the humidity, lock in the heat. We're not going to be moving out of this stagnant heat pattern over really anytime soon. Moisture content remains high in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. You can see that here on the water vapor satellite imagery. And again, as I mentioned, not much is going to change with this stationary front in place. To the north, we'll see the dry air. To the south, we'll see the humid air and those pop-up showers and storms around the area. So again, make sure you, drink plenty of water and bring the umbrella. You're going to need some of that as we go into the afternoon hours for the next few days. Overnight lows are going to be in the 70s. It's going to be more tropical feeling, of course, the further south you go, but where they're feeling the effects of that frontal boundary, yeah, you're going to get some 60s in Atlanta, 69, 64 in Tupelo, and 64 degrees in Little Rock. And then tomorrow afternoon, another day with that blistering heat. 93 here in Tallahassee, a whole 2 degrees cooler, 91 in Savannah, 90 in Atlanta. But no such luck in Shreveport, 97 degrees for your high temperature on Friday. So let's go ahead and go back to the desk now with John and Tawana.
Thank
You know, it's been quite hot across the southeast, and it's actually a little bit dangerous to be outside in some of this heat, where it's actually been a little bit cooler. It's actually been quite a bit safer over the last couple of years, and they've actually ranked it.
Yeah, exactly. Safest cities to live in the United States. Number 10, Warren, Michigan, which is north of Detroit. They don't really have that many tornadoes or hurricanes because they're in the middle of the country, pretty much.
Number 9, Denver, Colorado, where they don't get hurricanes or earthquakes.
Or any tornadoes either. And number 8, Chicago.
7 is Allentown, Pennsylvania.
And number 6, Dayton, Ohio.
5 is Bethesda, Maryland.
And number 4, Buffalo, New York.
3, Akron, Ohio.
2, Cleveland, Ohio.
And the number 1 is Syracuse, New York, believe it or not.
They're all in the same area.
Yeah, they're all up in the north, so I don't know. You may want to move, but I don't know. I like the awesome Florida weather here.
Yeah, but we'll send it out to Nikki with the national.
Thanks, guys. We're going to go ahead and take a look at our watch this morning around the area. We're going to go ahead and start off over in the northwest. We can see, obviously, we have some severe thunderstorms warning. This will be in effect until 1 a.m. on Friday. But back over in the northeast, we can actually see that we have some colder conditions coming about for them. We have a freeze warning and also a frost warning in that brighter blue that you can see up there. They did have a cold front go ahead and push on through earlier this afternoon and really brought the temperatures down quite a bit. But taking it back home, we can see we have a little bit of the flood in the rivers, just a little bit too much rain, you know, things get a little bit uppity, but that's okay. Nothing really impacting our area, just too much. Current conditions around the nation, though. We think it's hot down here, but take a look at Phoenix, 109. It is just a scorcher out there. Not fun to be outside, especially if you're hanging out in the heat. Drink that water, put that sunscreen on. Definitely have some UVs coming down from the sun today. Terms back home, though, like we said, pretty hot still. 87 down there in Miami, and some colder conditions, like I said, up for the northeast. Boston looking at 83 degrees. Looking at our satellite and radar, though, we can see that big high pressure really centered within the middle of the nation right here. But up in Seattle, they are getting some of that moisture. They definitely have a nice set of severe thunderstorms moving on in across the northwest. Taking it back over to our neck of the woods, though, we see a little bit of rain going in around Florida. We have some tropical moisture there in the Gulf, going a little bit into San Antonio as well. So looking really great, especially over there. In Seattle, we're looking pretty good too. That moisture is moving on, and like we said, there were some severe thunderstorm warnings moving into that area. You could see the bands just moving on over Washington especially. So definitely if you're going outside, bring those umbrellas, but high pressure really over Kansas City within the middle of the nation, just really not seeing much over there. No moisture, just pretty dry. That cold front that pushed through this morning definitely brought in a little bit of moisture, some colder temperatures for sure. Frost and freeze warnings are in effect for a lot of New York, especially in New Jersey as well. Pennsylvania will be feeling more like the 30s, higher 40s as well for some of the southern areas. But taking it back to the Gulf, we can see all that tropical moisture just moving on in, bringing in some scattered storms, pop-up showers as well for New Orleans, especially for Florida as well. We're going to go ahead and take a look at this beautiful thing of rain right here, what was the remains of Gabrielle. But let's talk more about that with Ryan. Ryan loves talking about rain. Let's talk about rain with Ryan.
I do love talking about rain. The bad news is for us, I guess if you don't like the hot temperatures, is that we are lacking the rain, if you can see. Outside, it's been pretty sunny today, and this goes to show you right here, this graphic, what the sun does to our temperatures. 72 degrees at 7 a.m. this morning, and as soon as the sun comes up, well, what do you expect? It gets hot, 95 degrees this afternoon, and things aren't going to change for the foreseeable future. We're getting into September now, and yes.
Right behind you.
92 degrees in the capital city. Dew points staying high in the 70s. Humidity right now running in the 50% range. Winds out of the south, so the sea breeze definitely having its impact here in Tallahassee as it moves northward towards the Florida-Georgia border. Current temperatures in the 90s. Good. Current temperatures in the 90s, like I said, 92 degrees in Tallahassee. Down just a little bit from 95. Current winds, if you look at this graphic, you can see for the southern half of the viewing area, and now I'm back, you can hear me once again, 8 miles an hour out of the south in Tallahassee. The coastal locations, you can see where the sea breeze has had its moved through already, right now pushing through Liberty and Gadsden County. Northern counties across the viewing area in southern Georgia, you see light winds out of the south. mainly light and variable winds across the area, and so we've got a few scattered showers to reflect that. You can see sea breeze moving up there, that little fine line there. But overall, we're really not seeing much in the way of activity, and that is because there's not a whole lot to get things going, not a whole lot to get thunderstorms fired. We've got a frontal boundary. This is water vapor moisture. You can see these little green blobs. Those are thunderstorms along the coast where the sea breeze has interacted with what we have in the atmosphere to get some lift going. But for the most part, we've got a boundary across southern Georgia and southern Alabama. Those storms fired across our southern Georgia cities, Valdosta, you can see on the surface map there. And over the next couple days, we're really going to be seeing just very isolated storms in nature. So mostly to partly cloudy skies. 72 degrees tonight. As the clouds dissipate, the sun goes down, we'll really begin to clear out. Partly cloudy, 72 again. Mild and muggy winds out of the south. Tomorrow's forecast, 93 degrees. We've got a 40% chance of showers. We've got that frontal boundary in place, so just enough lift, heating a little bit of moisture to instigate some of those thunderstorms. PM storms, rather. Sunshine in the morning, and then your 7-day forecast looks just like this, pretty much the same. Temperatures staying in the low 90s. The chance for storms does go down towards the beginning of next week as our humidity levels decrease. But right now we're going to take it to Alex and Troy at the desk.
Alrighty, thank you, Ryan and Alex. Those temperatures are looking pretty steamy, aren't they?
Yes, especially with the humidity. When heat index values reach over 100, that definitely means to get hydrated because those temperatures are not friendly at all. But we have some news going up in Europe, right?
Yes, this is just reported today, folks. But apparently, we had a 130-car pileup in England, particularly southeast of the London area, particularly on the Isle of Sheppey, which is near the Isle of Kent. And around 7:15 local time, there's a 130-car pileup. And fortunately, no deaths were reported, but there were reports of at least 60 people, in fact, and it was reportedly due to fog that was very prevalent throughout the area. So hopefully folks there are safe. But in the meantime, we're going to take it out to Nicole for your weather. Nicole, how are things looking out there?
Troy, well, for us it's looking great, but in Siesta Key Beach, not a great day. 76 degrees as those storms have fired up. Sarasota County actually saw 1,400 lightning strikes within 15 minutes today, so it's been stormy to say the least. Current conditions around the area, rain cooled, 83 degrees in Jacksonville. Hot one for us, 92 in Tallahassee, 88 in Pensacola. Across the spine of Florida, we are seeing 91 in Tampa, 86, again, rain cooled in Orlando. So it has been a very steamy day across Florida. You can see those wind patterns are pushing out of the southeast as that high pressure system that is sitting at the Bermuda High is pushing those winds up through the area in West Palm Beach, 12 miles per hour. Fort Myers is also seeing 10 miles per hour, and Tampa is at 8 miles per hour as there is a sea breeze effect showers pulling into the area. Satellite and radar shows those pop-up showers all across the state of Florida and in southern Georgia as that stationary front that everyone has been talking about is firing up some storms. Local radar in our neck of the woods, we don't have too much to talk about. Finally, a nice dry day for us. Just a few spotty showers near Wilma and Liberty County. Taking things out to Pensacola, there are a few storms firing up in Walton Beach right now, but other than that, we are moving across to Jacksonville. Southern Georgia, across I-95, there are some storms firing up right now as that stationary front is just draped across the area, just pulling in a lot of moisture and storms. Moving down to Orlando, those sea breeze showers are pulling in a lot of storms at this hour. There are a couple of chances for some lightning and thunder rumbling on through. Moving down to Miami, there was also a funnel cloud spotted through the area, but other than that, tonight's forecast shows those temperatures are going to be in the 70s, 77 degrees in Orlando, 77 in Tampa, still very muggy and warm. And tomorrow's forecast, we are seeing those 90s showers all across the spine of Florida, 92 degrees in Orlando, 89 in West Palm Beach, 93 for us in Tallahassee. But let's send things across to John as he talks about Gabrielle and some other stormy conditions in the Gulf.
Yeah, as you'd expect this time of year, being 5 days now away from the peak of hurricane season, it's got quite active here in the Atlantic Basin and even the Eastern Pacific as well. We've gone all the way through the first list here just about. Gabrielle is on its way out. The next name on our list is Humberto, and I is Ingrid. The I storm has been known in the past as being a little bit of a nasty storm, but right now we're focusing in here on this name system here. We're looking at Gabrielle just south of the island of Puerto Rico there. Going to take a closer look. Again, here's the island of Puerto Rico. This is the eastern side of the Dominican Republic. The National Hurricane Center has the center located just off the tip of the Dominican Republic, but lots of thunder showers across the entire area. All of this convection is a little bit of a different system. Tropical wave, I think, is still being influenced there. A lot of rain in Puerto Rico, like we talked about at the desk a little while ago. Lots of mudslides there and a lot of thunderstorms all across the islands here, from the U.S. Virgin Islands here over to Puerto Rico. This really isn't a wind maker, but more so of a rain maker across the islands. Here's the latest stats here. It's 18.2 north, 68.6 west. It is well over 1,000 miles from Tallahassee, so no threat here or anywhere in the United States except for Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. Winds are at 30 miles an hour and gusts up to 40 miles an hour. This is going to head on towards the north and west over the next couple of days and really kind of weaken as it hits the eastern side of the Dominican Republic and push on towards the north and west and mainly out to sea. Really not expecting anything there. The hurricane hunters out of Biloxi were flying down towards the southwest into this system. They actually found some disorganization down there, but they were very close to finding a closed center, which is actually the definition of a tropical depression. This system will be meandering for a while. A lot of this moisture will be pushing off towards the north and east, along with that frontal boundary, which we talked about across the southeast, but a lot of this moisture will also be streaming in towards the western parts of Mexico and up into Texas. So you may want to see some extra advisories out there for possibly some flooding all the way down into Mexico and around the region, across the Atlantic. Elsewhere, it's quite a bit dry as well. Here's another picture. There's our system. That's Gabrielle right in there. This is that frontal boundary that we talked about across the southeast. Everything west of that, we won't be expecting any sort of tropical thunder showers in that area because it's just too stable. Over towards the east, this is where we start focusing on thunderstorms. Here's a tropical wave coming off the coast of Africa, and over there where it is nighttime right now across the coast of Africa, there's another tropical wave just about ready to come off the coast of Africa. This will be all sliding off towards the west, and slowly but surely we should make it through the list. We're looking at up to 13 named storms, possibly all the way up to 17 named storms. That's been the figure as we've been looking at from NOAA. This time of year, we see the storms pull out of the Caribbean and up towards the north. We see those storms starting to get guided by the area of low pressure and those fronts that come down and kind of scoot tropical systems off towards the north and east. And we also see a lot of warm water in the Gulf, and that's also being caused by those warmer temperatures. We'll get to that here. 84 degrees out in the central Atlantic, 84 degrees, 87 down closer to Key West. And that's what's also been creating a lot of our rain showers here in the Tallahassee area. But now we're going to go ahead and take a look at some more weather news at the desk.
Thanks, John. Now, it's been a quiet Atlantic season so far in relation to the Pacific hurricane season, which is already at their L-named storm, which had just recently formed today. It's Tropical Storm Lorena. And it recently formed off the coast of Mexico. What's the strength of it, do you know?
The current strength right now is 40 miles per hour, so that would, of course, make it a low-end tropical storm, and it is forecast by the National Hurricane Center to continue to move northwest into the Baja California region.
Yes, possibly as a strong end tropical storm. We're not seeing this to become a hurricane and to quickly move inland over the mountainous terrain and rapidly weaken. Regardless, it is going to be a big rainmaker for that region. So hopefully, folks take extra caution over that. It is the monsoon season anyway, so they're getting a lot of rain.
Yes, and of course, folks over there could use the rain, especially that, because that area can be in a drought. So any rain will be beneficial. But in the meantime, we're going to throw it back to Tawana with your last look at the local. And Tawana, how long are we going to be stuck with this heat and humidity?
Might be a good while, you never know, due to the high pressure that's kind of moving into our area. So we'll have the heat, but not as much humidity. But today we topped out at 95, a scorcher. Our low right on par, 72. Currently in our area, still hot, 92 degrees and partly cloudy, with a pretty high dew point right now. We have 72, which is giving us a 52% humidity, so it is a little sticky, is a little muggy outside, a little bit uncomfortable. Current temperatures around the Big Bend region, 92 here in Tallahassee, a little bit cooler in Quincy, and a little bit warmer in Bainbridge. Around Carabel, due to some showers and the sea breeze that's come on shore, it is 88. Dew point around the area, pretty high, which is giving us that muggy, sticky feeling that we're getting, which is 72 and 70 in St. Mark's. And that moisture, that high dew point, is contributing to the high heat indexes. Outside, it just felt absolutely hot, almost like you were cooking. We had 101 as a heat index here in Tallahassee and 92 in Quincy. Local radar, not much going on right now. We could have the chance of some pop-up thunderstorms and showers throughout the day because of the higher humidity, because of the moisture, because of the onshore flow, as well as the stationary front that we have north of us, which will be moving out of our area for the next couple of days. You can see moisture just firing up some showers. The green is where the copious amounts of moisture are right now in our area. But as the stationary front moves through the area, it will become drier and a lot more comfortable. For our futurecast, you see stationary front sitting over Alabama and Georgia right now, keeping us hot, keeping us humid, keeping it very uncomfortable. But a high pressure system will come off of the Gulf and will contribute to some thunderstorms, but it will be a lot drier as the week goes on. Tonight's forecast, nice and comfortable, 72 degrees, a little muggy with a chance of less than 20% chance of thunderstorms in our area. For tomorrow, 93 as a high, 40% chance of rain, so bring your umbrellas. For the beach, not a big beach day. It's going to be hot. UV index will be high. For boating, not a great beach day as well. But if you go into the 7-day forecast, as I said, you see less chances of rain and still high temperatures. But we'll send it back to the desk.
In news in South America, after 4 years of dormancy, the Ubinas volcano in Peru has erupted 5 times in the past 3 days.
Yes, and this volcano is located about 70 kilometers off the coast of Arequipa, and of course Peru. So
Yes, and
very dangerous what's going on too.
Definitely. The head of Peru's Volcanological Observatory of the Institute of Geology, Mining, and Metallurgy says that it doesn't pose an immediate threat as the prevailing winds are carrying it away from any habitable settlements, which is good news for the people down there near Arequipa. So,
and of course, here, what it comes to mind with that volcano is Mount St. Helens back in 1980, in the upper mountains of Washington. Of course, that was very serious situation what happened back then.
Yes.
So even now, with what's going on in Peru, that itself is very, very dangerous. So hopefully, folks that are living around that region, just be in mind and just keep a lookout for continuing any eruptions in the near future.
Of course. The volcano seems to have erupted 5 times in the past 3 days, so it's likely that it might erupt again. But looking at that 7-day forecast, you can see rainy chances persisting until about Sunday, with that rain lingering throughout the week. But look at those highs. That's
yes,
insane.
and the lower Manatee, so you know the story, folks. Hot, hazy, and humid. But in the meantime, for any more information on the weather, you can like us on Facebook or go into twitter.com. But in the meantime, I'm student meteorologist Troy Fields.
And I'm student meteorologist Alex Cordero. Make sure you bring out those umbrellas and make sure you drink lots of water. It's going to be a muggy week.